I started to sell him the idea and I took him to a place.
You know that the guitar you already
Exactly, just like
I'm just looking at the actual comments here. Your methodology, writing workshops, I think that's
It's a great pleasure to have you all here, and I'm delighted you can all hear at the back. This is the first ever, in other words, it's historic, the first ever poetry reading and performance at Cong. So you are all present at a juncture in history which will be remembered forever. Now, I have to tell you that the big event this evening is going to be the global launch of the chapbook Rewilding by John Davitt.
You'll not know the fight, the snag, the snarl, the deeper nest, the slow bud creeping over all the rest. And then, in even deeper times, the school on the open road, funds of green from little to much, a winter skeleton dressed in summer plush. Signal of the season, going at the first whistle of the blackbird, now tapering in perspective, tiny on the distant hill, lime line of history, running to the future, still hedging its bets.
All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive.
Woo! It's that revelatory cadmium sunset tree. Colours out there, sending a message vermilion. Hugh's talking to you, but you are not listening.
I'm just mad about saffron. Saffron's mad about me. I'm just mad about saffron. Saffron's mad about me. They call me Melon.
And I think just one more. I think we'll leave the gaudete out of it because time is short. Owen did a lovely beatific sort of, yes, good idea, John. This last poem is short and it's called Departure. Mistaking the muse for top of the pops, old poet's penny finally drops, puts glass on the bar, gets arse off the stool, nods to the barman, leaves last chance saloon.
Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? Come down from your fences and over the rain. It may rain, but there's a rainbow above you. You better let somebody love you. Let somebody love you.
You better let
Somebody love you before it's too late.
Thank you, Owen. Thank you, Karl.
I've never given birth to an idea that floated. The wine I've drunk, the women I've loved, all permeable membranes that leaked, all blocked arteries, like clods of hair in a drain. I've had multiple births from embryos implanted like seeds into my imagination. I'm big into cultivation, gestation, articulation.
Imagine newly birthed ideas are celebrated. Imagine children love ideas. Imagine children's ideas are loved. Don't peek too soon there. Imagine children's ideas are loved. Imagine old ideas are revered, interrogated, regenerated. Imagine dead ideas have somewhere to repose.
Mary Pugh was nearly 2 when she went out of doors. She went out standing up, she did, but came back on all fours. The moral of the story is, please meditate and pause. Never send a baby out with loosely waisted drawers.
You were wrong. Always wrong. I was right. Always right. Now you're gone. Always gone. No more fights. Miss the frights. Asking why, always why, made me strong. Argue long. Other views inspired new, keenly sought creative thought. Resist form, hate the norm. You made me contrary.
His father said, I'll forgive you everything if you do right by this girl. The unfinished education, the empty table setting at Christmas time, the family name, unpolished, unloved. I never met my grandfather, but I remember my grandmother, a small woman, her mouth eternally disappointed. Dad bringing us down to visit her to the small dark house on Bulfin Road, where the furnishings took themselves too seriously. And later in that same house, I found a studio photograph of the polished family. My granddad, something familiar in the way he's leaning against the table. My dad, a beautiful child, about 3 years old, sitting beside his brothers and sisters. And there, my grandmother, upright and disapproving, staring into the camera, daring it to blink.
The great big ship capsized, the fear had you paralysed, and so you could not realise until it was no longer a surprise. And the sinking it progressed, and as though I was possessed, I hereby openly confess I became totally obsessed. An obsession with my fear of society that grew so strong inside of me, trying to edge away yet politely from everyone and hiding the anxiety. It became like an infection, and although I think I should mention, if you were to pay attention, it sparked from retrospection. The obsession of perfection, fear of any correction, of societal rejection, even of my own reflection. The power to sense any tension in perpetual suspension, and despite my introspection, it wasn't my intention that this mental abruption would lead to my depression. Here begins the numbness, the long periods of dumbness, the really painful sinking, the suicidal thinking. That back of mind thinking that your insides must be shrinking and the vision of the surface begins to lose its purpose because the light on top is less visible and you become more miserable. And everything makes you irritable and you repeat, this is horrible, it's horrible. Your life seems ever so dismal to do simple things, you're just unable. Your thoughts for life are so unclear, you simply want to disappear. How and why did you even get here, and how come it's so difficult to shed one tear? Getting up in the morning out of bed, it fills you with this sickening dread of having to endure the day ahead. Why can't you just stay in bed instead? But to stay in bed is to procrastinate, and the next problem it will frustrate. If I stay in bed too late, it may have an effect on my weight, so out of bed I evacuate into a world in which I'm an inmate. I feel the increase of my heart rate, the danger of my lungs to suffocate. To stop the hunger I hydrate, and on I go and emaciate. Often my head begins to spin, the more I lose, the more I'm thin. Breakable hair, dried out skin, calories out equals calories in. If you don't like what's on the scale, well, I guess you can call that a fail. Scrutinize every single detail. Oh, the joys of falling victim to the perfect female. Until you've achieved the desired shape, I'm afraid there is no other escape. Despite the fact your bones may ache and you cannot stay awake. You have to stay in full control, keep on track to reach that perfect goal. The goal that lies in an endless hole that kidnaps you and steals your soul. But listen to me, you need to know your life is worth more than a few kilos. It's worth more than living up to some fake photo. You need to recover, you need to let go. Fight those thoughts, learn how to say no. You must create a new manifesto. I know you could feel very low, but it's gonna get better, be it quick or slow. This whole experience will help you grow. At the end of the storm will be a rainbow. But for people to see this, for people to know, we need to start talking, more experiences shown. We need to end the stigmatism, be it through campaigns, speeches, social media, or feminism. We need to cease our criticism, stop saying silly, stupid things as a euphemism. The society's approach is a form of terrorism, through judging, ignoring, oblivion, racism. We need to end this disgusting schism. What is the point of narcissism? When it does no good, it's just negativism. I need your help with this activism. To end mental health stigma, sectarianism, it's at the top of my list, it's my optimism. So are you going to help me with my vision? Or are you going to keep hidden inside your very own prison?
Well done.